So how was touring with Meat Loaf? I know that's actually probably the last time I saw you when you were doing the tour with Meat Loaf.
That's right. You caught me backstage with multiple plates of food after I did my set. You know, being on tour with Meat Loaf was one of the most enriching experiences I've had in music to date, because I had time on the road with him and his crew. His crew is like a family. Every last one of them, they're so nice and so kind, and I really don't think that someone who is a jerk would last on that tour, because everyone is so warm and kind and friendly, and really, if you think about it, it's the people that make the place, right?
Absolutely.
And so we had a great time everywhere we went, and they were so good to me. I didn't even ask for these things, and they would do them. Like, for example, they would carry things on the truck for me, my instruments, my wardrobe case, and I would get to the venue and they'd say, oh, your room is over here. And they even had, a little sign with my name on it with an arrow pointing the direction. I thought, wow, this is fancy, right? And they would have my wardrobe case in my room, and I just assumed I would be taking care of my own things, and just the way that they did, and so much love, and beyond the love, all the great care, and just being so nice to me. And my mom was my road manager for that tour, which I know you experienced firsthand.
Yeah, our mom, she's the best. She's got a wonderful
Thank
mom
you.
there.
She adores you too.
Yeah.
Momager, we call her. And it's just really fun to see how people reacted to her, and all the different cities. And we would arrive, have sound check, take a break. I would do my set. I would go out and meet and greet with fans, and there would always be a line, so I just felt so blessed for that. People would, pick up stuff at the merch table. I would sign them. I would hug most of the fans, because they're just, like us, and they just, happen to love that kind of music, and they show up in crowds. And so security was a little protective, but I would always jump over the counter and hug people, because it's just the way I am,
That's a warmness. It's warmness that you have.
Yeah, but I really felt that from his fans, and they embraced me so fully. And a lot of that, I think, came from him in the way that he embraced me, and he made sure that, everyone knew that he supported me and my music and what I was doing, and it's priceless to me. And, he even pulled me aside a couple times and told me himself that he believes in me and my talent, and, he gave me some tips on how to really relate to a very large crowd, 20,000 up. And it's not that I felt uncomfortable on stage. I actually felt very comfortable, and I had a great time doing those shows. But there are certain things that, he was so interesting in the way that he approached that. And, he would say, we're in such big venues, always make sure that you're performing to the person in the very last row. And this is a quote, he said, you don't ever want anyone to feel like they're missing out on a part of your performance because they can't afford to be in the front row. And it just rang so true, because, the way the lights are, you can't necessarily always see to the back of the room. Every once in a while, the way the lights change, you can see just how many people are there. But it really stayed with me, and the kindness and the love and how much of himself he shares personally with his audience every single night. I learned so much from him, and how to share that feeling with every single person in the room, because we do it for the love of music. It's sometimes it gets tiring being in a different city every day, but what keeps you going is the love for the music and the appreciation for the fans and from the fans. You know what it reminded me of, actually, when I was in England last time, if you don't mind me going off? The BBC4 has some really great music specials about certain artists, depending on what content they have. And I caught the end of a Dolly Parton one, and then I got to see an entire special on Barry Manilow, who is an incredible talent. What a voice, what a songwriter. And it showed some of the negative things that he dealt with from the press, and how he dealt with those things, and he kind of laughed it off, and really gained his inspiration and strength from the love of the fans. And an interviewer was asking him about the fans, and trying to get him to comment on the crazy fans, and I loved his response, because I got his response, and he said, no, they're just nice people and warm people, and I'm grateful that they love my music. I love them as much as they love me. And I thought, wow, that's so sincere. I get that. You know, I understand that, and that's how Meat Loaf is, and the gratitude is so sincere. I feel so sincerely grateful, and when he shared that, I really felt the soul of a songwriter that just wanted to share his music with people.